Alright everybody, the snowfall that most of us were ready to write off for the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast has shifted in a snowy direction, and tonight into Monday morning, parts of Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and even the New York City metro area are now looking at accumulating snow from this departing system. It is not going to be a blockbuster, but it is going to be enough to cause problems if it verifies. On top of that, what is loading up out west over the next 2 weeks is nothing short of historic. Both the European and GFS models are projecting hundreds of inches of snowfall for the highest Sierra Nevada and Cascade peaks. We are talking about snowfall totals that are hard to even comprehend. And through the central and eastern states, a turbulent pattern of temperature swings, clipper systems, and southern slider storms is going to keep things active all the way through the end of February. Let me walk through every piece of this. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. First, the surprise snow tonight. The low pressure that has been meandering across the Deep South and Gulf states over the past 2 days is now pushing offshore along the southeast coast. As it does, it is interacting with a shortwave trough and colder air further north, and that interaction is producing snowfall that has shifted much further north than originally anticipated. Both the European and GFS models agree on the general setup, which is notable because they have been fighting over this system for days. The European shows snowfall developing across Maryland, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and West Virginia by around 10 tonight, with heavier snow forming across southeastern Pennsylvania into southern New Jersey overnight. The snowfall band even reaches as far north as New York City and beyond before the system pulls offshore by Monday morning. The GFS has been showing a heavier and more widespread version of this same event, but the overall placement is similar on both models. Here is the city-by-city breakdown for tonight's snow. Washington, D.C. is on the very southern edge of this and likely sees rain mixing with some wet snow, maybe a coating at best for the metro with slightly more in the northern and western suburbs toward Frederick and Gaithersburg. Baltimore has a better chance, probably 1 to 3 inches of wet heavy snow overnight. The Baltimore-Washington corridor through Columbia and Ellicott City could do a bit better. Philadelphia is in the sweet spot for this event and could see 2 to 4 inches of heavy, wet snow overnight into early Monday. Southern New Jersey from Cherry Hill through the Pine Barrens into the shore communities picks up similar amounts, 2 to 4 inches. Northern New Jersey sees 1 to 3 inches. New York City is in the zone for a coating to 3 inches, with the higher amounts across Staten Island and Brooklyn, where the heavier precipitation band clips the metro. Long Island could see 1 to 3 inches. The Poconos and the higher terrain of northeastern Pennsylvania do better with 3 to 5 inches. Scranton and Allentown pick up 2 to 4 inches. Harrisburg sees 1 to 3 inches. Further north, the snowfall is more robust. Albany picks up 3 to 5 inches. The Catskills and Adirondacks see 4 to 7 inches. Hartford and Providence are in the 2 to 4 inch range. Worcester picks up 3 to 5. Boston is on the fringe and likely sees 1 to 3 inches of wet snow before it tapers off Monday morning. Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine do the best with 4 to 8 inches across the higher terrain and 3 to 6 in the valleys. Portland, Maine picks up 3 to 5 inches. Burlington sees 4 to 6. West Virginia from Charleston through Elkins sees 2 to 5 inches, heavier in the mountains. Now, I want to be honest about this. Even in the best-case scenario, this is a 2 to 4 inch event for most of the major I-95 cities with the highest amounts across the interior. The cold air is not deep enough to support a major winter storm, but 2 to 4 inches of heavy wet snow on a Monday morning commute is still going to cause significant travel disruptions, so do not dismiss this just because it is not a foot of snow. Once this system clears the coast by Monday afternoon, the entire forecast picture pivots to the west, and what is setting up out there is genuinely jaw-dropping. Starting Monday night and running almost continuously through at least Thursday the 19th, heavy snowfall explodes across the Sierra Nevada, Cascades, and Rockies. This is not a quick-hit event. This is a multi-day siege driven by a deep trough that parks along the west coast and feeds train after train of Pacific moisture into the mountains. By the time this first major pulse wraps up around Thursday, the Cascades and Sierra will have seen multiple feet of accumulation at the higher elevations. But it does not stop there. The storm activity out west barely takes a breath before more systems arrive. Through the end of the following week and into the final days of February, Additional waves of snowfall keep piling on. When you add it all up over the next 2 weeks, the numbers are staggering. The European model is projecting 10 to 20 inches of liquid precipitation for the Cascades, which translates to hundreds of inches of snowfall at the higher elevations. The model shows a maximum of over 300 inches for the highest Sierra Nevada peaks. The GFS is not far off with a maximum around 240 inches. Even taking a conservative view of these numbers, we are easily looking at multiple feet of fresh snow across virtually every major western mountain range, and for the highest peaks, totals that could approach or exceed 10 feet. City by city for the West, Sacramento sees multiple rounds of rain through midweek with valley totals of 1 to 2 inches and the Sierra foothills picking up substantially more. San Francisco and the Bay Area get gusty rain from multiple waves Monday through Thursday. Los Angeles and Southern California face heavy rain with flooding concerns, particularly in burn-scar areas and along coastal slopes. The NWS has flagged the potential for damaging winds and even tornadoes in the LA basin with Monday's system. San Diego gets soaked. Reno faces a rain and snow mix at valley level, with the nearby Sierra receiving extraordinary totals. Interstate 80 over Donner Pass and Highway 50 over Echo Summit face extended closures that could last days. Salt Lake City sees valley snow with the Wasatch adding feet. Denver picks up periodic snow as waves clip the Front Range. Boise gets rain and mountain snow. Portland and Seattle see extended rain with the Cascades getting absolutely hammered, and as temperatures trend colder through late February, there is an increasing chance of freezing rain or snow at lower elevations in the Pacific Northwest. Flagstaff and northern Arizona pick up significant accumulation. The Four Corners region from western Colorado through western Wyoming, Idaho, and western Montana all see heavy mountain snow. The snowpack numbers across the West tell the story of why this matters beyond just impressive totals. Snow water equivalent is currently running below 50% of normal across much of the Pacific Northwest, Great Basin, and California. This storm cycle is not just exciting weather, it is desperately needed water supply. And with March typically being the snowiest month for these mountain ranges, this pattern change could be the beginning of a sustained recovery that water managers have been waiting for all winter. Now the temperature pattern across the central and eastern states. Right now, we are slightly cooler from the recent front, but the warming trend resumes quickly. By Thursday of this week, the central and eastern states are well above normal again. Dallas stays in the 70s. Houston pushes near 80. Oklahoma City reaches the upper 60s. Little Rock hits the mid-60s. Memphis and Nashville are in the low 60s. Atlanta reaches the upper 50s to low 60s. Chicago pushes into the mid-50s. Minneapolis approaches 50. Kansas City and St. Louis reach the 60s. Des Moines and Omaha hit the mid-50s. Indianapolis reaches the mid-50s. Charlotte and Raleigh climb into the low 60s. New York City could reach the upper 40s to low 50s. Philadelphia hits the low 50s. Washington, D.C. pushes into the mid-50s. This warmth holds through about Thursday and Friday before the pattern shifts. Around the 21st and 22nd, the cold air that has been pounding the west finally breaks through to the eastern states. Both models agree on this timing. Temperatures drop back to near or slightly below normal for the central and eastern states for a few days. The European warms us back up by the 25th, while the GFS introduces another cold push right around the end of February into early March. Either way, expect temperatures to oscillate between warm surges and cold intrusions rather than settling into any one pattern. Through this entire period, a dual storm track keeps things active in the east. Northern Clipper systems track from the plains through the upper Midwest and Great Lakes into the interior Northeast, delivering periodic snow showers and light accumulations. Minneapolis, Green Bay, Milwaukee, Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Buffalo, Syracuse, and Albany are all in the corridor for Clipper snow. Meanwhile, southern slider systems push through the Gulf states and up along the East Coast, mainly as rain producers due to the lack of sustained cold air. Around the 20th, a stronger low-pressure system near the Great Lakes could bring a more significant snow event for the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, with the potential for thunderstorms along the warm front further south. And by the 24th and 25th, as the pattern trends colder, snowfall potential extends into the Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. So here is your complete picture. Tonight into Monday morning, a surprise snow of 2 to 4 inches hits the Mid-Atlantic corridor from Baltimore through Philadelphia into southern New Jersey, with lighter amounts for D.C. and NYC. Starting Monday night and running for nearly 2 continuous weeks, the Western Mountains receive what could be a historic snowfall event, with totals measured in feet for the Sierra, Cascades, and Rockies. The central and eastern states swing between surges of warmth 20 to 25 degrees above normal and cold intrusions that bring temperatures back toward average. Multiple storm systems track through the northern tier, producing snow for the Great Lakes and interior Northeast. And by late February, the pattern may finally flip colder for the east, setting the stage for more impactful winter storms. This is going to be one of the most active 2-week stretches of the entire season. I will be right here tracking it all. Stay safe tonight, and we will talk again very soon.